Okay, guys, pickup truck's gone. Right now I'm doing a spray out of that pearl white, and what I did differently this time, let me show you. The pearl white, white lightning, white diamond, whatever GM calls it, uses a two-part. This is the pearl, and then the white coat that they use, the base coat that they use, of course it's stuck in the box, it's like an off-white, okay? It's not pure white. And I've done 2 spray outs. He doesn't like the color. So let me show you here. So basically, this is the spray out I did, and this is what I originally painted the truck with 20 some years ago. You see how this is so much whiter than this? That base coat, I think, is causing this. So what I did was I took my spray out that I did last week, I sanded it down, and I put Olympic white. Olympic white is the white color that is used for all GM trucks and vans and stuff like that. I put that down, and then I put the same pearl over top. So this is definitely looking a lot better to me. I think this is gonna be what he wants. So I'm just gonna put one more coat of clear on that, and then take that to him tomorrow and see if he okays that. If that's good, he can get the paint, because he's supplying the paint. He owns a golf cart place, and they paint golf carts and everything. So he'll use his account, he'll get the gallon of color and the gallon of pearl. I have the clear, and then we can start painting this truck. We can get the bed. We got to paint the bed, the wheel flares, the tailgate, all in one shot. I'll probably just do the tonneau cover a separate time, because it's kind of like flat versus the sides of the truck. So it's probably always going to take on a little bit different of a, the color's probably always going to look a little different on that than it is on the sides of the bed. So I'm not too concerned with the tonneau cover being painted separate. But if we get all those parts painted and knocked out, I can move the truck itself over here and start doing the rest of the bodywork to the truck and get that painted and send that thing on its way. But for the next week or two, I'm going to be working on this Vista Cruiser. It's an Oldsmobile. I said Buick last week, but it's an Oldsmobile. So basically what I'm going to start doing today is starting to cut and bend some metal to fix the roof. As you can see, we're completely rusted through here. Literally, you can lift the roof up a little bit. I measured over there where it's still intact. There's 2 spots that are intact. And from this lip to here is about 7/8 of an inch. So I'm gonna take some 16 gauge steel, which I know is a little bit thick. I don't know that I have any 18 gauge. I'll look, but I think I only have 16 gauge. 18 gauge would be a little bit easier for me to bend. I better look and see if I have some 18 gauge. But I'm gonna bend 7/8, and I'm gonna bend a 90 down here, okay? Then I'm gonna have to come in here and grind all this off. This inside lip is still good. This is double layer metal. So I need to grind this top lip off to gain access to the bottom lip, clean it all up. And then I think what I'm gonna do here is, obviously I'm gonna have to weld to here. But here, where this flange comes down in 90s over on top of the other metal, I think I'm gonna use rust inhibitor on all this, clean it up. So after I use the rust inhibitor, I'm gonna grind it. And then I think I'm gonna use panel bonding adhesive. I think I'm gonna panel bond adhesive and clamp the piece of steel to this, the new to the old, and let it dry overnight, and then come back and weld that. But I'm not sure yet. I gotta double check to make sure that I can weld up here once that glue is cured down here, because I don't want to send excessive heat down to the glue and weaken the glue. So I don't use a lot of panel bonding adhesive, but I'm gonna talk to my buddy who owns a body shop and ask him what his thoughts are on that, because I think gluing this bottom lip would be the ideal thing to do, because it's gonna completely seal those 2 seams together. If not, I gotta drill holes into this and then spot weld it. And then I'm gonna have, empty spots between it, which I can use weld through primer, that's fine. But I think it'd be kind of nice to have a nice solid glued on piece of metal here, and then where it comes up to the roof, I just, do a series of tack welds back and forth, slowly taking my time so I don't warp the crap out of the roof. But that's 7/8 over there. As long as I keep that height all the way along here, we'll be fine. And then when I bend this piece, and if I'm a hair high on it, it's not a big deal. I can cut it down a little bit once it's on the car, you know, before I weld the top. So basically, this is the worst part here, is along the front here. We have some spots here. I'm not going to cut it all out. I'm only going to cut what's bad. Everything else is going to get wire wheeled and rust treated. This will get cut out here. But this whole center section from like that hole over is really, really good. That's just going to get wire wheeled and rust inhibitor, and then epoxy primer, and then paint. I'm not going to worry about fixing all the pits in the metal. As long as it's treated and it's not going to keep rusting, that's all that matters. So basically I need to kind of go around and find all the hole spots, cut those out, and fix them. So basically I'm going to have to bend probably a good 2 feet of metal, 7/8 with a 7/8 leg and a 3/4 leg coming this way. So I'm going to do that on my bender. I'm going to go look and see what I have sheet metal wise. Even down here, just got a spot here. I'm just going to cut it here, weld in a new piece there. All the rest of this is all good. Just needs cleaned. This scaly rust makes it look so bad, but it's really not as bad as it looks. Even all this is solid. He was even surprised because he thought for sure, because he saw stuff like this when the window was in, protruding out, and he's like, man, this thing's probably completely rotted behind there. Luckily it's not. You know, we have one rot hole here. I'm guessing there's something going on here because there's a bunch of silicone or something going on there. I'll cut that out and see. There's probably something in that corner up there, but even all this is good. We've got a rust hole there. This back corner shot, that's completely screwed up. Fix that. Let's check this side because I really honestly didn't look at both sides that great. Okay, this side's a little bit worse, so we got a couple holes down here. And what I told him is anywhere I have to do metal repair, I'm gonna have to get rid of those clips are gonna be gone, the pins to hold the clips. So he's just gonna have to use they sell little screws, stainless screws that you can drill and screw the clip back into the car. Usually when I do it, I'll take like some black window adhesive, and I'll drill a hole and I'll put it on the hole, and then I'll run my screw into there, and that kind of seals up the bare metal. So we got a little bit here, but to be honest with you, I don't think it's going to be that bad. I really don't. We got some cracking here. Fairly confident that's a lead seam right there, so we'll grind that out and fix that. And then we're going to blend the color, and we're going to re-clear the quarters from the molding up. I do have that other lower quarter over there that's screwed up, but I really want to try to knock out this metal work and body work this week, so that this coming weekend I can get it in primer next weekend, get this thing painted and send this on its way. We're going to probably paint the whole tailgate. Now he knows, you know, we're not going for crazy, so I'm not going to pull these emblems off. I'm just going to tape around them. I know that's not the correct way to do it, but if I start pulling this emblem off, it's just going to bust. It's going to break between the letters. Then he's going to have to find another one. I don't know if they make new ones or not, so we're not going to push our luck with stuff like that. We're just trying to get this thing to be a nice cruiser. Can have a little bit of patina or a little bit of wear on it, you know, but still be a nice car to drive around. I like the rims that he picked out. Those are pretty cool. So I think that looks really good on the car. But just a little bit of work, and what we're trying to do is just get rid of the rust so it doesn't keep rusting on us. It's not going to be driven in the winter or anything anymore, so it should be just fine. So let me see what I have for sheet metal, and we'll bend some pieces up here and then start cutting this out. I think what I'm going to do here on this surface is I'm just going to take my grinder and just keep grinding until I'm through that first layer of metal. So, all right, I'll be back in a little bit. Okay, I got a piece of 16 gauge. I don't have any 18 gauge here. I actually went online and looked at Home Depot and Lowe's just to see if they maybe had a piece of 18 gauge, and they only have 16 gauge, and then the next size is 22. I'm not going to use 22 gauge up there. A, it's going to weld like shit. It's going to want to blow through easily, and B, how long is it going to last because it's so thin? So I'd rather go with 16 and be a little thicker. I don't have any fancy metal shear yet. I'm going to be buying a metal shear that'll cut 16 gauge, 48 inches wide. And I'm also going to be buying a bigger bender, a 48-inch bender as well, so that I can do full sheets. But so I'm gonna buy a shear and a brake, which is gonna be going in that back room. I'll show that to you. I'm not gonna do a lot on the car tonight. I'm kind of just getting started. Just gonna cut and bend a couple pieces of metal, get it ready so that tomorrow I can really start hitting this thing hard and get it done. So basically, we have a leg that's gonna go up 7/8 of an inch. So our bend's gonna be at 7/8 of an inch. And this is going to be a little hard to bend with my Harbor Freight bender because it's not really meant for 16 gauge. It'll bend a 16 gauge piece this long easier than one this long, obviously, but we'll get it. I think I can get it to bend. So that's our bend line right there, but I need to go 3/4 past that, and that's my cut line. So my cut line is going to be right here. So I'm going to actually run my fingernail along the edge of this metal. And if you do it very carefully, you can draw yourself a nice straight line. So let's see how I did. So if I measure over here, we're at 1 3/4 to the center of that line. We're at 1 3/4 to the center of that line. So I'm gonna cut that with my grinder, and then we'll go over there and bend this. And then I'll cut another strip, and I'll do that off camera. I just wanna get a couple of these bent. I'm gonna do a walk around back there and kind of show you what I'm working on currently, getting ready to get that other bay ready, because I don't know if a lot of people really understand what I'm doing back there. I'm not pouring all the concrete in one shot. It's just too expensive. I got to kind of do it in a couple sections. So let me cut this now. Biggest thing to get a nice straight cut with the grinder is to just take your time. Don't stick the grinding wheel in real far. Just kind of barely put it through. Let's go over to the bender now. All right, so we're gonna stick our 7/8 side in. Yeah, might not bend it. Might have to put a relief cut in it. So I might have to probably go to the grinder and so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna score this with my knife. I'm gonna go to my grinder real quick and I'm gonna cut this. Just gonna put a little score right there where I'm gonna bend it at, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I put a little line in there with my grinder, so let's see if it'll bend now. That's what sucks about this, is it's not made for 16 gauge unless you're doing small pieces. But it's what I had for many years and I made it work. Might have to grind it a little bit more still. Yep. Starting to go. Let me go grind it a little bit more. Okay, normally I would take this cut line and I would bend it the other way. But I don't want to do that on this because I don't want to have that cut line on the backside, because that's just more stuff I need to seal up because it'll have a lip on there. I am going to use weld through primer on this stuff to also help protect the bare metal on the backside. There we go. So now we got a nice L cut here, or an L piece that we can use. I'm gonna make another one of these, but see how, because I cut that in there, once it folded over on itself, it's nice and tight corner. It's nice and sealed. And these are the tricks I had to teach myself because I always just had a cheaper bender. Didn't have anything, you know, real fancy. But now I'm getting time to where I need to start getting some better stuff. So anyways, it's a mess over here right now because all this stuff is tools and toolboxes and all kinds of stuff that are going to be in this bay. Because I'm putting a whole nother set of tools over here so I don't have to run around from one shop to the other. All this insulation you see up here, it's everywhere. I bought all the insulation to insulate this whole entire building back here. I think I have enough. I might have to buy a little more. But I think I have enough to insulate all this back here. So I'm going to make sure it's all insulated, all wired this winter. So basically, from this side of the man door, between this garage door and the man door, is going to be a wall coming right through here, a 2x6 wall. So this whole bay right here is going to be an assembly bay. So this will all obviously be cleaned out, and this is where I'll put a car together. It's going to be 16 foot wide, 22 foot deep. Should be more than enough to put a car together right here. I'm going to have a row of cabinets going along there. You see how it's got that little bump out in this wall here because there's a closet in the mixing room. So the toolboxes are going to go right along that wall over there. And then the concrete's going to come back, straight back from there, come over, and it's going to jog out right here to here, and then it's going to come back this way. And I'm going to concrete this room as well at the same time I'm doing that bay. So that bay and this whole room is getting concreted. And this room is going to be utility room, bathroom, and the rest of it's going to have 2 tire machines over here. It's going to have a tire balancer, a tire installer, 6-foot sandblasting cabinet. I'm going to have a metal cutter and a metal brake all back here. So I'll be able to, you know, do all my tire changing, sandblast my rims in a cabinet. It has a full vacuum system with an external port on the sandblaster. So the external port will go out that back wall right outside. I'm actually going to put an air conditioner in the wall back here too. I found one for $700. It runs on 220 and it will cool 1,000 square feet. This room and this room alone are only like 700-800 feet. So I'd imagine it should do a pretty decent job. So that's my plans this summer, is getting this poured, getting my wall built, and I'm not going to explain it to you. You should have to see it when it's done. I'm going to decorate this whole entire bay to look really cool, but you're going to have to wait for that. I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag on that one, but it's going to be really, really cool looking in here. And then when I get more money in the future and I get some more cars and projects out of the way, these arcade cabinets need to get finished and get them out of here. I need to get some more cars done. I'm going to pour the rest of this building. And this door right here will be used to access the rest of this building. That overhead door there goes to a 12 by 32 porch. And I'm going to enclose that porch and make it part of the shop as well. So I'm going to add another 12 by 32 area to the shop back here. But this back here is just going to be storage. And I'm going to buy a 4-post lift that I could just move around in this area so that I can keep a car on it to work on it and also park a car underneath it if I need the room. And then there's a steel beam up there. That's a loft that's going in up there. So that's going to be a nice loft up there. And that door up there is going to be a flight of steps going to the door. And there's going to be an upstairs deck and stuff out back looking into the woods back there. But that's my goal. Like I said, I do it in pieces. I'm going to do this year. Maybe this fall, if I can come up with the money, I'll get this concreted and that back area. Or maybe I'll just get this concreted and do that back area afterwards. I'm not sure yet, but that's pretty much my ideas with that. And if anybody's ever been wondering, where do I keep my paper and tape for painting? I never showed anybody that, but I built a little closet in the mixing room back here. And this is where I keep all the tape and paper because it keeps it clean. It's never dirty. My roll of aluminum foil fell on the ground. But I just have a little light in here And I have all my masking tape, all my paper. These are just regular mixing cups, razor blades, wheel bags, plastic. Everything is in this closet, sealed up. I haven't cleaned this closet in 2 years and there's no dust in here. So it just shows that, you know, it keeps everything clean, keeps the edges of my tape clean. They're not getting all filthy and stuff like that. So if anybody was kind of wondering where I kept that stuff, that's where it is. Also, this cabinet right here, I keep all stands. These stands are just used for painting on. If I'm doing like a real expensive paint job, like the dually or something like that, I use these stands. These stands are not corroded with a bunch of body filler and dust and all that stuff. So these are just all new body stands in here, and there's a tree that you assemble to hang parts off of and stuff. And I actually got this is a 3-foot roll of paper, green paper in there. And then on top of everything, these are just literally boxes of disposable mixing cups. I buy everything in bulk because if you buy it in bulk, you save money, a lot of money. Over the time, if you just buy everything in bulk, you save yourself quite a bit. So that's where I'm at with that. So basically, not doing much work tonight. I'm exhausted. Sunday night, almost 9 o'clock at night. I'm about ready for bed. But I'm gonna probably bend one more of these tonight. Tomorrow, sometime tomorrow during the day, I'm gonna start cutting this apart and figuring out how this is gonna go. Now, if you look here, you see how this is obviously not going to work unless I do some bends in it. So what I'll probably do to bend this easily, first I won't drop it in the car. So now I gotta dig that out. Oh, there's a back door. All right. So what I'm gonna do is, everywhere I need to put a bend, I'm probably just gonna make a little pie cut in here. Just a little pie cut, and then I can easily just bend it to follow the contour of the roof. And we'll get this, like I said, we're gonna grind down this first layer of metal, get to the second layer of metal, clean it really well, put some rust inhibitor on it. This is going to get glued and clamped to this lip here, set overnight, and then weld up here. I did call my buddy from the collision shop. He told me, yes, glue that, it's a good idea, but be really careful when I weld up here. Don't send a lot of heat down that metal to here. He says it will wear out that glue. It'll break down that glue and loosen it. So what I'm gonna have to do is just take my time welding this on and keep a wet rag with me and just keeping wetting it down to keep it from the heat penetrating into the glue area. So I'm gonna bend one more piece tonight off camera, and that's gonna give me enough to do. As you can tell, I'm tired, guys. Can't even hold on to anything. But anyways, bend one more piece tonight. That's gonna do this whole front lip. And then I probably just need to bend one more. Maybe I'll probably just make littler pieces so I can bend it really easy on the bender for here and stuff like that. So basically 2 long ones and then just a couple partial ones. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. I don't really feel like welding tonight. It's been 90 some degrees tonight. It's supposed to be in the 90s to 100 degrees all week here in Ohio. So it's gonna be a hot one. But I got a little battery fan and stuff I'm gonna put on me while I'm working, and I need to cover those seats up. I'm gonna get some moving blankets, 3 or 4 of them, and just kind of put them over that front seat so it doesn't get, the welder doesn't burn through it. But I'm not gonna be welding yet tomorrow. I'm gonna be getting this ready to glue tomorrow. So, all right, guys, hopefully you guys stick around and watch this project, and hopefully you guys are into watching more projects, because I'm gonna keep doing them. They're gonna keep coming. So once this is done, we're gonna do the dually. Once the dually's done, I have a 72 Mach 1 Mustang over there, convertible, that needs to be assembled. We're gonna be working on that and the 59 hardtop at the same time, because I need to get those 2 cars out of here. It's gonna free up a ton of room back there. Once those 2 cars are gone, then I have a 70 Mach 1 Mustang that I need to do. I have a 64 Impala. What else do I got? I got a 69 Mustang Mach 1 428 car. Oh, Boss 428, I think it is. I got to do that car. I got a lot of stuff, a ton of stuff. But hopefully you guys stick around and keep watching the process of everything that I'm working on, and hopefully I keep getting more people to like, subscribe, share, follow, comment, all that good stuff. All right, guys, I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching.